Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more r/mother butthole mixed with some relationships too, you know how it is. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story comes from Masterpiece Healthy, who says, am I the arsehole for telling my fiance I won't proceed with our wedding if he insists on inviting his female friend? And it does come with an update as well. My 29 male, fiance 32 male, has a female best friend since childhood, 32 female. Now, I'm not the person who gets jealous over my partner being friends with the opposite gender. I'm bisexual, so it wouldn't be rational of me to have some weird expectations like this. Plus, my fiance has many female friends as a straight guy, and I have friends of both genders as well. What bothers me here is not the gender of the friend, but whether or not they are able to respect boundaries. So I'd make the same small talk if the friend in question was a male. So, to the point, his female best friend, Rachel, has always been in competition with me regarding on who's more important and a bigger priority to my fiance. At first, my fiance failed to stand up to her and set boundaries, but after a small break we had and after we reconciled, he realized the importance of boundaries and set hard boundaries with her. I know that whenever she sees me or hears about me, she's not happy, but we act kind to each other despite our actual feelings. This situation, by the way, has been rolling out for the past 5 years that I've been with my fiance. When he proposed, Rachel didn't congratulate us at all and completely overlooked our entire engagement and kept referring to me as my fiance's girlfriend. My fiance kept correcting her each time, even telling her how she's not funny or quirky doing this, she's just disrespectful, and after a certain point, she stopped. Now that we are planning our wedding, we picked out our groomsmen and bridesmaids, and my fiance has his female friend as one of his groomsmen, a groomswoman. After my fiance asked her to join that role, she texted me a lengthy paragraph which, to sum it up, said, "Just so you know, your fiance and I are still each other's priority. You marry him and have kids with him, share a house with him, but right now he picked me as a groomswoman, knowing that would bother you because he cares about not hurting my feelings more than your feelings. You can't easily ruin friendships like that. Just stay in your lane and accept your place. You might be his wife, but I'm his best friend and I'm not going anywhere. Make peace with it and who knows, soon enough we might get along." I showed my fiance and he said he'll deal with her and I shouldn't worry. I told him I've had enough and that the only solution I'm accepting is proper consequences for her actions. That means she's either dropped as a groomswoman or uninvited. He makes the call for which one it will be, but I'm tired of his best friend not having real consequences of her actions and getting her way. I won't trust him enough to proceed with our wedding if he doesn't set clear limits and make his friend face the consequences of her behavior. He said what I'm doing is very unfair because he is not responsible for her actions and feels like I'm putting unnecessary responsibility and pressure on him. Am I the arsehole? Now, I'm just surprised by the length of time that this has been going on for, and those boundaries haven't been they ain't concrete right now. I mean, 5 years of dealing with this. Holy moly. And I think if I was in OP's shoes and I received that text and I showed that to my partner, I wouldn't expect anything than something real, like basically piss off, something like that. The text was purposely to hurt you, saying that he cares more about her than he does you, and to just stay in your lane and accept your place. And that she's not going anywhere either. So I'm going to be really interested in the update to see how he reacts in this one. But Swords of Storm says not the arsehole, but Rachel wasn't wrong when she said he cared more about her feelings than yours. Please consider if you want to be the second most important person in your marriage. OP replied to that saying, to be honest, the reasons I told him this was because I'm afraid Rachel is right. If she is indeed right about him respecting her feelings and discomfort over my feelings and discomfort, and she is indeed a bigger priority to him, then there is no reason for us to get married. Nibbler981 says, not the arsehole, you're not being remotely unfair. The only response to that text is him telling her to get to fuck. Not just in regards to the wedding, to his entire life. If someone had sent something half as bad as that to my husband, I would let them know they were, for all intents and purposes, dead to me. I would not marry this man unless he takes appropriate action. This is insanity. Invomitus Rex says, not the arsehole, if your fiance's response to Rachel is anything other than, what the hell is wrong with you, and I don't want you in my wedding or my life until you apologize to my future wife and realize that she is my priority from now on, then I think you are right to be concerned that he does indeed care more about her feelings than yours. She is way out of her lane sending you a message like that. Like, who the fuck does that? Your fiance might not be responsible for her behavior, but he is responsible for setting boundaries with his friends around how they treat you. And boundaries mean nothing without consequences. You are right to expect him to set the tone now for what he will allow Rachel to get away with, and to refuse to get married until he shows that you truly are his priority, even when it puts him in the middle of a conflict. Twisted Reddit says, not the arsehole. Fiance is right in that he is not responsible for Rachel's actions, but he is responsible for giving her actions consequences because it is about/over him. I'm not responsible for my daughter's behavior, but it is my responsibility to correct her behavior when it is wrong and deliver the consequences so that she evolves as a human. Conscious Fold says, not the arsehole. Judging from that paragraph, I think she definitely has some jealousy or hatred towards you. It's your wedding day. You deserve to be with people who you actually like. To which OP responded saying she does, and not just me but other female friends of my fiance as well. Especially women are her issue. But now let's move on to that update to find out what happened next. So the update. The update probably came sooner than I expected, and maybe than you expected as well. While I had this post up, I was sitting next to my fiance. I told him that I don't want to ask feedback from family and friends, and I don't want them involved in our drama, so I'd rather get some unbiased feedback here. He's been reading some of the responses, and while at first he was very defensive over his actions, he just now started realizing on how he has to reflect on this a bit more. I also explained to him once again in detail on why what I think Rachel is doing is bad and how it might destroy not just our relationship but any future relationship he might get even after we break up, because no person would be willing to stand for that disrespect. We are having a chat about it now, and he's thinking of distancing himself from Rachel. Edit 2, for the record, he decided to uninvite her from the wedding completely and later distance himself from her. And yeah, OP mentioned at the start of the update there that the update probably came sooner, and it came within hours of the post, so she must have been literally sat next to him this whole time. And I've got to say again, it's one of my favorite things about Reddit is that you show the person the comments and you get lots of different opinions from all different angles, but they all point towards, well, the majority about Rachel being wrong and what she is doing is bad, and then suddenly it clicks and they change their mind for themselves in the end. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from LargeEnd6087, who says, my fiance doesn't want to tell me something she did that would potentially hurt our relationship. And it does have an update as well. I, 27, and my fiance, 27, have been in a relationship for over 4 years. Things have generally been great with us until now. Very recently, one of my fiance's friends and her got into a verbal fight, and during that argument, the friend said that at least she would never do to her partner what my fiance did. Things got very heated after that, and my fiance proceeded to kick her friend out. After things cooled down with her, I asked her what she did, and at first she told me that it was something that I wouldn't want to hear anyway, so I should just ignore it. Upon further prying, she told me that it happened at the start of our relationship and is now irrelevant, and I should stop asking her about this. I told her that she needs to let me know, as it is me who would decide if it's relevant to me or not her. She won't budge, and I don't want to talk to the friend directly because we aren't really friends, and I don't hope to get any info out of her anyway. For now, the only option I am considering is postponing the wedding, assuming that my fiance won't give me the information to make an informed decision. We are due to get married in December, which is not all that far away, and I am panicking a little bit. Since she won't tell me what this is about, I really can't know for sure whatever it is. Is it a deal breaker for me or not? I've constantly tried to talk to her about this for the last month, but she doesn't want to talk about this particular thing. I've put some thought into what she might have done, but something as serious as they claim doesn't come to mind. I know just by her character that she won't cheat or do something similar. Pretty sure she won't steal or hurt someone else either. Honestly, I am at a loss right now. I haven't talked to her about postponing the wedding, but I guess that is what is needed right now. What do you think about this? Thanks in advance." And I kind of feel, although it may be extreme, that, postponing the wedding might be the best option. And before we move any further, we do have an update which hopefully is going to reveal that information in a moment. But for now, at this part of the story, what else could you do apart from postpone the relationship? Because you've been told that there is a secret there that will potentially harm your relationship if it gets out. We've seen time and time again on these subreddits that the secrets generally always come out. And how are you yourself meant to move on from this, knowing that there's something that may hurt you sitting in the background? I know myself, I wouldn't be able to move on without knowing that information, and I think OP was right that it's up to them to make the decision afterwards to where they go from there once they've known this secret that's been held from them. And I think if it was to continue down this road and she doesn't reveal the information to you, this will kill the relationship anyway. It certainly would for me, because I'd be sitting there the whole time thinking, what happened? What's that person done? Are they cheated? What have they done? And it's just going to eat away at you until eventually you explode and have enough of it. But when you are the moon says, whatever the thing was, her now concealing it is becoming a bigger deal breaker. Have you put it to her like that? And Opie replied saying, yep, she doesn't really want to get me in on this. Godspeed Jay says, absolutely, get that info before you get married. Put the wedding on hold and tell her if she doesn't come clean, you're going to the friend to find out anyway. Opie replied saying, yeah, I'd want to know before getting married, but both I and she know the friend is unlikely to tell me anything and she isn't really my friend. Postponing the wedding seems like the way to go, and maybe with this she might come clean. Silas Do Good says, if there is no trust, there is no relationship. You can't trust her because she is withholding critical information. She can't seem to trust you enough to tell you this information. For me, sadly, this alone would be enough for me to walk, because this will be a cancer in your relationship until it kills your marriage, and it will. And hopefully when it does kill your relationship, it happens before children are a part of the picture. Source, been married for 25 years and I have told my wife some gnarly shit about myself. History of abuse before we got married. Believe me, trust is 100% or zero in a marriage. There is no middle ground. Sometimes it almost says you need to know. Don't move forward until she comes clean. My gut is that she had a relationship or sex with someone. And one more from KR who says, I would not marry someone who is intentionally keeping something from me the way your partner is keeping it from you. Either she's hoping you'll stop bringing it up and get over it, or she's holding on to it after you are married so she can, haha, see, it's not a big deal lol, when in fact it's a huge deal and you wouldn't have been married if you knew. It could also be a really, that's it? Who cares reaction from you, but the way she's hiding it and refusing to discuss it is shitty. There are many other things that could happen, but those are my best guesses. Pardon my French, but fuck anyone I don't trust. So now we're going to move on to the update to find out what happened next. So edit, just an update guys. I talked to the friend and found out what happened. She did not cheat or anything, but did something just as bad in my opinion. When we got together 4 years ago, I had two friends, X and Y. X and Y were both women and the only women friends I had. I did cut both of them out because back then my fiance accused them of stealing her gold earrings. We were 7 months into the relationship at the time and I did trust her at that point, and she asked me to cut them out as my friends were thieves. The whole thing was a whole mess. Now knowing what happened, I think I'm going to move forward with cancelling the wedding and probably send an apology text to my ex-friends. I'm definitely not expecting a reply, but at least they would know that I was an arse and now know they were good people. Before I tell my fiance I know everything, I'm going to get my exit plan in place and then just break it off because this is a deal breaker for me. I know for some people, opposite sex friendships of their partner are too much, but her measures to get rid of my friends were extreme and in no way reasonable. The real concern I have right now is once we are married and she doesn't like someone else in my life, what extreme measures will she take then? I'm not staying to find that out. I just need a little time to figure things out and get my feelings in order, and then I'll be on my way. Thank you to anyone who took the time out to reply. It means a lot. Edit 2. Got the reply from my ex-friend. They are pissed that it took me this long to figure this out, but they're not really mad at me. And now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? What would you have done if you was in OP's position? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now this next story is titled, Am I the Arsehole for calling my 26 female baby daddy 34 male a shitty dad for not taking our son 4 on a trip to Disneyland with his family? 4 years ago, I gave birth to my son. My son's father was an older co-worker of mine. He was married and I was younger and stupider. After I got pregnant, he pretty much left me high and dry with his kid and went back to his family. His wife knows but stayed with him, and he has 2 daughters with her aged 7 and 5. He is co-parenting, so he does not pay any child support. He only sees our son at most once a week. Our son desperately misses him and wants to have a full relationship with his dad, but he keeps him at arm's length. A while back I confronted him and told him he needs to spend some extended time with his son, and that he needs his father. He agreed that he would at some point, but he just didn't have the time as he's working and has a family. I told him his son is his family. Yesterday, his wife posted on Facebook a picture of their entire family at Disneyland. This made me mad. He has time to take a weekend trip to Anaheim, but can't be with his son. So I called him. I told him that he could have involved his son instead of just leaving him. He said that he's not going to take our son around his family and that I need to remember our place in his life. This set me off and I exploded. I told him he wasn't a real man and that he was a shitty husband and father, along with some other more crude personal attacks. He told me I was a bitch and that this was all my fault. Am I the arsehole? Edit. I want to say, I know it's wrong that I slept with a married man. However, as I said, I was young. I had just graduated college. He fed me lies about how their marriage was dead and how they'd be divorcing soon and how neither of them wanted to be together. I was tricked into thinking he actually liked me. Looking back now, I wish I had been smarter. I'm not saying this to try to justify, but I know what I did was wrong, and that's not what I'm asking for judgment on. And we're going to start straight away with Away Refuse 8493, who says, Everyone sucks here. Stop. You are hurting your son with this. His dad is a deadbeat who wants very little to do with him. The fact that he and his wife don't bring your son on vacation is not a weird thing, considering the story. Put up boundaries, sue for child support. He's 4. If he misses daddy, okay, he misses daddy. But your job as a mummy is to show him that you can have fun, just the 2 of you. Start thinking like a single parent. Glitter Curls 85 says, Everyone sucks here, no offense, but you are in denial. Put that man on child support and take care of your son, and find a way to make your son feel better about his dad being a deadbeat. That man does not want to be a father to him, and no amount of tantrums and anger is going to change that. Focus on your son and being the best mum you can be. Trouble in Mind says, Everyone sucks here. You got involved with a married man. Even worse, you two did not take the reasonable steps to remain child-free from your affair. You both have set you and your son up to be ignored by your affair partner, and for your son to never have a good relationship with his bio dad. At the same time, I understand to a degree that he wants nothing to do with you. Your son was the consequence of his poor actions. His wife may have forgiven him, but he might feel your son is a threat to his relationship with his real family. Real in the sense that he agreed to marry and reproduce with his wife. You are dealing with the consequence of your choice to sleep with a married man. He's dealing with the consequences of cheating. The only innocent people here are his wife and all 3 kids. OP, take him to court for child support. 1 day a week isn't co-parenting in any state, as far as I know. He'll either have to spend more time with your son or start paying to support the tiny human he helped create. Zoe Yo says, You really thought a man that would cheat on his pregnant wife or postnatal wife with a toddler at home was somehow going to become a good father to your son. You are a single parent by choice. Sue for child support because that man does not want custody of your son or a relationship with him. Get your shit together. Be an adult. His family will never accept your son, so stop letting him hurt your child. Everyone sucks here. And one more from Starry Nebulous, who says, Everyone sucks here. You for knowingly having an affair with a married man. Him for getting you pregnant and not actually being a dad. You need to go to court and get a proper custody agreement or child support. But you also may need to realize that forcing this guy to be a father may not work and will only hurt your son further. If dad actually decides to step up, you and your son will need to realize that he will not be included in every single thing either. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this one? It seems to be like a unanimous, everyone sucks here. in this situation, because they said the only innocent people are like the wife and the children in this. Do you agree with that, or do you have a different take on the matter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, once again, thank you so much for joining me today, getting involved in today's stories, your comments, your messages on Twitter, showing me what you're up to. Some people sculpting. Someone is sharing me sculpting updates at the moment, and I absolutely love to see it. You're drawing, you're gardening even. Ah, dear, dear, dear. Things like that just bring a smile to my face, and it keeps me going. So thank you so much for doing you, and just a huge thank you to each and every one of you for being awesome. Continue to be awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today